This is not a test. This is your emergency broadcast system announcing the commencement of Phatts TV, sanctioned by PA Phatts and the non-genetically proven Sun. Any and all words have been authorized during the show. There is nothing off limits. Nobody is restricted from watching and participating in the show. It is a free-for-all. Commencing at the siren, any and all discussions will be legal for an extended period of time. Sports, politics, and any and all controversial topics will be talked about. You have been warned. May God be with us all.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Phatts TV on this Wednesday night, September the 15th. Doing a little bit later edition, as usual. We got to flex our schedule around somebody's college schedule. So welcome from a stormy Pennsylvania tonight. Joining me, as always, in the upper left-hand portion of the screen from his underground bunker in Center County, Pennsylvania, the one, the only, non-genetically proven son. How's it going?
It's going.
So I did a little bit of a different opening tonight. I did like the ending of The Sopranos in the opening. I just like black. Just black.
I was wondering what was going on.
Also proving that we're not racist here at Phatts TV. We did just all black. Yes. Just trying something new.
You screwed it up.
Well, that too. that too. Yeah, I gotta reformat the shot layering thing. It's a work in process. Downloaded the updated program and new crap every time. So tonight is gonna be a mix of politics and sports, since we only do once a week these days because of someone's college schedule. Goddamn gets in the way.
Who are you talking to?
I don't know. Someone who's in college.
I'm not busy at all.
Yeah, it's just that it's a little hard to do two nights because, our normal Tuesday, Thursday, no, you're vice president of the disc golf league. So, can't do Thursday nights now. Those Thursday nights are out, So, I'm going to name drop a name in a little bit in topic number 2 that you would never expect to hear on Phatts TV. Okay, so that's upcoming in topic number 2. But topic number 1 is the treasonous actions of Joint Chief of Staff, Chairman of the Joint Chiefs, General Milley, however the fuck he says his name. That treasonous bastard. He needs to be brought up on treason charges. He needs to be convicted. And when you get brought up and convicted on treason, you need to be put to death. And that's exactly what needs to happen with this guy. Apparently, according to a book that's coming out by Bob Woodward, Watergate fame, back in the 70s, a little before your time, non-genetically proven son. Slightly. Almost 3 decades.
Yeah.
He is claiming that the good general was a little paranoid leading up to the end of the Trump administration, that he did 2 things. Number 1 was basically to attempt a coup. Now, that's not the treasonous part. That's the attempting a coup part, which could put you to death, too. He supposedly, we don't know the facts. As usual, the message board is live and operational. But he supposedly told his subordinates that if President Trump orders a nuclear launch, that his subordinates are not to obey his orders without the good general's approval. I'm not a constitutional scholar by any means. I know the non-genetically proven son is. So please, if you would, point out in the Constitution where the use of military command falls on the head of the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff more than the president.
No, it's the president. You do what the president says.
I believe Article 2 of the Constitution, which talks about the duties of the president, specifically says that he is the head of the military. I don't think Article 2 says the Joint Chiefs, the Chief of Staff, I don't believe it says that he or she is in charge of the military above the president. So I don't think him being paranoid is grounds for doing an end run around the Constitution of the United States. Maybe I'm wrong. Again, you're the constitutional scholar here, not me.
If you say so.
Not me. So I want to read to you something. I'm going to tell you what it is when I'm done. I have to type it up. Okay. That's not what I want. Okay, so I state your name, do solemnly swear or affirm that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic, that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same, and that I will obey the orders of the President of the United States and the orders of the officers appointed over me, according to regulations and the Uniform Code of Military Justice, so help me God. I will obey the orders of the President of the United States. That is the oath that the good general took when he joined the military. So now he's basically ordering his subordinates to go against their oath that they took when they joined the military. Ladies and gentlemen, that is a coup d'etat. It's an attempted coup of the United States of America by some schmuck with a uniform. Even, remember Vintman from the January 6th, the Trump impeachment? Even he's calling for the good general to step down and potentially face charges. And Lord knows he's no friend of Trump's, that's for sure. You got an opinion on this?
Not really, but seems pretty accurate where you're going with it.
Yeah. So where does the treason part come in? So that's just the first bad thing that he did. Here's the second bad thing that he did. So let me pull up the definition of treason, so you can see that I'm about to explain that this fits the definition of treason. So it's basically committing high crimes and misdemeanors against the United States, or aiding and comforting the enemy of the United States. That's the part that I want you to focus on. Aiding and comforting the enemy of the United States. So in the last 2 weeks of the Trump administration, the good general was so worried that a paranoid President Trump was going to attack China, which there was never any indication that Trump was even considering attacking China. None whatsoever. But the good general thought that Trump was paranoid enough to do something. He phoned, not once, but twice, his counterpart over in China and said, if we decide to attack you guys, I'm going to give you a heads up to know it's coming. Really? Excuse me? So you have the top military guy, the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, the top military guy in the United States calling China, one of our adversaries, a country who would love to see the United States of America destroyed, and saying, by the way, if we decide to attack you, I'll give you a heads up. Excuse me? Excuse me? Is that not aiding your enemy?
Slightly.
Slightly?
Yeah, it is.
Slightly? You better rethink what you're saying there, boy. Slightly.
Just a little.
Now, of course, the Pentagon today is all, oh, well, we were just reassuring China because China was worried too. We were just reassuring them that it wasn't gonna, that it wasn't gonna happen. Bullshit! It wasn't gonna happen. That's the fucking deep state for you. You have the highest ranking military member calling the counterpart of our enemy and saying, hey, if we decide to attack you, I'm going to tip you off ahead of time. Suppose China decided to attack us first because of that. Suppose China was so convinced that Trump was going to attack, they decided to preemptive strike with their nuclear arsenal. Think about that for a second. Think about that.
It'll be a little bit of an oops.
Think about that. So this idiot, schmuck in a uniform, will be appearing before a Senate committee in a couple weeks. It'll be interesting to hear what he has to say. I, once again, am calling. Of course, Grandpa Joe came out today and says, I have full support and confidence in him. Well, of course he does. He must fetch him his afternoon bowl of ice cream. We'll see what that has to say. Speaking of ice cream, what would you ever do if you're in the creamery and he comes in to get ice cream? What, you gonna serve him? You gonna refuse to serve him?
Joe Biden?
Yeah.
Yeah, I probably would refuse to serve him.
Would you spit in his peachy paterno?
Okay, I don't need to get fired. I'm working there. I need the money, but I don't have to serve him. So I probably just wouldn't be the one to serve. Like if they said, "Can you serve?" I'd be like, "No."
Give a little on his peachy paterno.
Yeah, because he wouldn't wear a mask.
No. Speaking of masks, anybody happen to see the Met Gala the other night? That's the one where AOC wore a dress that said "Tax the Rich."
To a rich party?
to a party that cost like $30,000 to get in. By the way, I'd like to know, did she pay that $30,000? Did she have to pay it to get in? Did the taxpayers pay for that? These are interesting questions. But try to find some pictures from that. It's weird that none of the attendees had masks on. None. The wait staff did, though. There's pictures of the wait staff. They had masks on. None of the attendees did, though.
A message I got today, there was somebody here walking with 3 surgical masks and an N95 over all of that.
That's a lot of masks.
You think somebody's brainwashed?
I want you to make me a deal.
What's the deal?
That if you ever see somebody like that, I want you to go up and ask them if especially if they're a guy, like, do you wear 4 condoms? Or if it's a girl, do you make your yuppie wear 4 condoms for protection? Maybe a body condom.
Okay, I can do that.
All right. Topic number 2, and this is where I'm going to name drop, but not quite yet. Not quite yet.
Not quite yet.
Vaccine mandates are becoming the popular thing. The popular thing.
Hey, it could be worse. We could be in a different country called Australia.
We could be. We could be. Well, Los Angeles County is basically going to be requiring them if you want to go do anything. Just like New York. School districts all across the country. This is the big, war that's going on. Masks. Of course, the Biden administration is planning on requiring all companies that have more than 100 employees to mandate vaccinations. I'd like to see how that's going to be legally justified. Or people like me have to comply because I work at home these days. I don't go into the office. I haven't been in the office for probably about 6 months now, at least. So it'll be interesting. But
Kiana thinks vaccine mandates are dumb.
Smart girl.
I must be rubbing off.
Must be. So somebody took to Twitter the other day.
Wasn't me. I don't post on Twitter.
Yes, there was only one person that took to Twitter the other day. Some famous person took to Twitter. Now,
PA Phatts.
well, PA Phatts, even though I'm kicked off of Twitter, I do have a backup account. Yes, I'm still banned from Twitter. I want my fucking main account back, Twitter Jack, you fuck freak asswipe. But anyway, a famous person, I think she's a singer.
Okay, so
I think she's a singer. That just shows if you're not 80s rock or a country music star, I don't really know you all that well.
yeah.
So Nicki Minaj took to Twitter. Please tell me Nicki Minaj is a singer.
I believe so.
Don't know one song she sings. Don't know. But I do know Nicki Minaj is black. And that's part of the story.
She's a rapper.
Okay, so she's a singer. Nicki Minaj took to Twitter. This is back 3 days ago. 2 days ago. 2 days ago. This is what she said on Twitter. She said, my cousin in Trinidad won't get the vaccine because his friend got it and became impotent. His testicles became swollen. That would hurt. That would really, really hurt.
Kiana has a long comment. I don't think it's right for customers to have to show proof of vaccination to be allowed to dine in restaurants and bars and stuff like that. But if you do take out, you don't have to show proof.
Here's the thing, Kiana. Are you vaccinated? If you don't want to answer that, just put question marks in the thing. If you do want to answer it, answer it. Don't answer for her because I know you know.
I can tell you their school's rules.
I'm assuming she is. Because of the rules. But let's just say Ophelia Way is vaccinated. PA Phatts is not vaccinated. I could give anybody on the street COVID. Ophelia Way could just as easily give anybody on the street COVID. Doesn't matter that I'm unvaxxed and Ophelia Way is vaxxed. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter at all. But not back to Nicki Minaj's comment. My cousin in Trinidad won't get the vaccine because his friend got it and became impotent. His testicles became swollen. His friend was weeks away from getting married. Now his girl called off the wedding. So just pray on it and make sure you're comfortable with your decision, comma, not bullied. Let me read the last sentence again. So just pray on it and make sure you're comfortable with your decision, comma, not bullied. So basically, what Nicki Minaj is saying is the same thing I've been saying for a year, or since these stupid vaccines came out. Which they're not vaccines, they're shots. Moderna came out and said, yeah, just like Pfizer, our vaccine wears off after a couple months, so you need to get booster shots. Yeah, that's not a vaccine. That's a shot. Sorry to pop your condom balloon, which I heard they were passing around Penn State in the football game in the student section.
Oh, there's about 30 of them.
Yeah, of course. So what Nicki Minaj is saying here is, if you want to get the shot, get the shot. If you don't feel comfortable getting the shot, don't get the shot. So let me ask you a question, non-genetically proven son, because you're somewhat smart. The 23 chromosomes that came from me is your smarter side.
Thank you.
If you're genetically proven to be my son. One side of the political aisle was fine with this comment. One side of the political aisle went off the rails. Which side do you think went off the rails?
Oh, the left.
The left.
And Nicki Minaj, I can tell you right now, does not sit right. But on this argument, she does.
Needless to say, the backlash was swift and it was brutal. Joy Reid, black commentator, that's why I wanted to stress the point that Nicki Minaj was black a little earlier, on her show, which is on MSNBC, I believe, called her sister. Sister. Is that what black women call black women? Sister. I'm going to have to talk to some of my black women friends and say, do you call each other sister?
Maybe.
That's cool. Nothing wrong with that. I don't have a problem with that at all. I think that's pretty cool. She said, sister, you're not helping. You're not helping our people. You're not helping our people to do the right thing, to get vaccinated. Okay, so? So? Okay.
Yeah.
People are going to get vaccinated because Nicki Minaj says to go get vaccinated. Nicki Minaj is saying, you be comfortable with your decision. Be comfortable with your decision. Pray on it. God forbid she used the word pray. Oh my God, she used the word pray. Hallelujah, sister. I'm probably not allowed to say that word. Hallelujah. I could use that word, though.
There you go.
Oh, yes. So I was reading some of the comment, and you know what? I will say one of the great things. I don't know anything about Nicki Minaj. I don't. I do not know a thing. She certainly stands up for herself on Twitter, and she likes to use expletives. That's for sure.
She's actually responding to people?
Oh, hell yeah. Oh, yeah.
All about control, not health concerns. Follow the money, says Tom.
Yep.
Why do you think, let's go out. Penn State, the borough, so State College, has put a mask mandate back. But we can go into our stadium on Saturday, which is whiteout, so 110,000 people are going to be there, and they could give a rat's ass if you wear a mask or not.
Yeah.
Doesn't that just prove follow the money? Money.
Well,
that's all it is.
We'll talk about that in a minute.
Okay.
I want to read one other thing that Nicki Minaj said about 3 hours ago.
Okay.
responding to a comment from Has Anabi. And he said something about, he's a white nationalist. So I don't know who he's speaking of. And she said, right. I can't speak to, agree with, or even look at someone from a particular political party. People aren't human anymore. If you're black and a Democrat tells you to shove marbles up your ass, you simply have to. If another party tells you, look out for that bus, you're just supposed to stand there and get hit by it. So basically, if you're black, according to Nicki Minaj, if you're black and a Democrat tells you to stick marbles up your ass, you're supposed to stick marbles up your ass. I mean, she could have used the term anal beads at least. I mean, they're made for that. But I get your point, sister. I mean, well, I can't say that. But if a Republican tells you, look out for that bus that's going to hit you, you're just supposed to stand there and get hit by the bus. You know what, Nicki Minaj? You are 1,000,000% correct. That's the way the left likes it. They want a monopoly on all minorities. The guy who was running for governor in California, Larry Elder, they were calling him a racist. Take a guess what skin color Larry Elder is. Black, but he's a racist.
I know who you're talking about because he's on the radio. He was on the radio with either Hanny or Dan Bongino.
But yes, the black guy's a racist. This is great. You gotta love the Democratic Party. All right. On to what's going on in State College, and then we'll segue that into college football.
There you go.
So, to my shock, you're talking about things rubbing off on your girlfriend. That might not have been the right way to say that. Looking back, that may not have been the right choice of words. Somebody who hosts this show went to a borough council meeting a couple days ago, and that wasn't me. I don't need to go to a Wilmersdorf borough council meeting because nothing happens in this small little town. But you...
I went to State College borough council meeting.
Because why?
Because they were discussing putting the mask mandate back in effect.
They were. And you went because you're a supporter of that.
No. I am part of Unmasked Penn State, and I got out of class early. I turned on the Zoom because, they put it on Zoom. And they were just starting to talk about masks, so I walked there and met with some other people that went that I knew from the rally that I went to.
How'd you get out of class early?
It's a 3-hour class, and we went over everything. She assigned the project that's due next week. She said, you guys could stay or we could leave.
Ah, okay.
So
okay.
She was giving us time to do it, but nobody really cared to stay.
Well, when you said I got out of class early, I thought maybe you told your teacher, hey, I want to go to this council meeting, and she was all supportive of you. Go.
No.
That's what I thought you meant. Okay.
Class just ended early.
So, did they vote to bring back the mask mandate?
Unanimously.
Okay. Now, for those that may or may not know, if you've read something about this or may not have read something about this, it's temporary.
It's like November 20th or something.
22nd, I believe.
There was arguments that were brought upon. There were 6 against it and 3 with it. So it was 66% against and 33% for it. But the council had their mind made up already.
Of course.
Of like the 9 of them that voted or whatever, only maybe 1 or 2 could have gone against it. Like there was a few that were like, whatever.
So look, go ahead, and while you're talking, look up on your calendar to see. I want to know the second to last Monday in November, because that's when it ends.
22nd.
22nd. Okay, that's what I thought. So finish your.
And all the other council members were like, "Yeah, we're going for it." Like half of them were wearing 2 masks. I thought the best part of it was the people that were for it, when they got up to the stand, would take their mask off.
Did they have somebody clean the microphone between each person talking?
I didn't know.
No.
But
Did you get up and talk?
I didn't get there in time.
Oh, okay.
And I would have, if I was going to, I would have liked to have something written up.
I'd have asked them, do they wear 2 condoms when they have sex if they're wearing 2 masks?
But the whole council was probably, what, 50, 60?
So maybe you should run for council.
And, like, people were talking about on Zoom, like, there were 2 older women that talked. The one had her camera up. She was probably 70-something. My first question is, why the hell do you live in State College? Move away.
Because she likes looking at beefcake like you.
The other girl she was definitely at least 40, but didn't have a camera up, so couldn't tell for sure. But they were saying it's our civic duty. We need to protect each other, and I think if I want to choose to get sick, I'll choose to get sick.
Let me ask you a question. Is it possible that the 70-year-old lady was like the old woman who lives in the Skook's sister, and this is the old woman who lives in State College? You know, maybe she just needs to turn the tricks, and that's why she wants masks on. She wants to be protected. You know?
And we were all, to go in the council, or not the borough, you're supposed to wear a mask. We were all sitting there without them on.
Of course. So why did they choose November 22nd?
Probably because that's the last day. The last football game is the Saturday before that.
That is the last football game. That's exactly why they chose it.
But they have no authority to control the stadium because it's not the same zip code.
No, they don't have authority to control the stadium, but what is the percentage of, let's take the students out for a second that go to football games. Yeah. All right, so how many students, you were at the football game this past weekend. So that stadium is full, 110,000. How many would you say are students? 25?
30 to 35.
Okay, so let's just say 30,000. So that means there's 80,000 non-students there. How many of those 80,000 do you think at some point are going to go downtown, either before the game or after the game?
80%.
So, it has nothing to do with the stadium itself. It has to do with people walking around downtown who would normally go to football games. It has nothing to do with the students, because I believe now over 80% of the students are vaccinated.
85.
Yes. So it has nothing to do with the students either. It has everything to do with the other thing. And again, if I'm unvaccinated and Ophelia Way is you love how I always use the name Ophelia Way? Ophelia Way. If Ophelia Way is vaccinated, I could give it to you, and Ophelia Way could give it to you just as easily. The difference is, supposedly, Ophelia Way is not going to get as sick as me. Supposedly.
But there's been a lot of, especially the bars, are saying, screw that. We're not forcing it. I mean, they're asking, just walk in with it. But then once you're in, just throw it out. We don't give a damn.
Well, isn't that the way it was meant to be anyway? You have to wear the mask when you walk in, but as soon as you sit at your table, you can take it off.
But they don't care if you have it on while you're not at your table. They just want you to walk in because the thing is, if you walk in and get caught, you can get a $300 fine.
Yeah, fuck that fine.
You really think the police up here are gonna care?
Some
They
probably
didn't
will.
care before. I'm sure there'll be one or two assholes,
I'm sure.
but the majority of them could care less.
I'm sure. All right, let's get to football.
Football.
So let's start with college, because college is Saturday, pros are Sunday, and we got week 3 of the Phatts Phantastic Phive coming up. That's important.
Importante.
So, of course, we're going to talk Penn State.
Penn State.
Talk about last week's game first.
Last week's game.
Someone on this panel was a little worried of a little letdown, a little sandwich game situation. Wisconsin, Ball State, Auburn. They look pretty good, except they always seem to go into this funk in like the second quarter and part of the third quarter.
Yeah, we looked really good in the first quarter. We walked them all over the field. Second quarter we were walking the field until we get to like the 20, then we'd stall, kick a field goal, which is fine against Ball State, no big deal. But against Ohio State, we can't be doing that. Or Auburn, can't be doing that. We got to score at least one out of those 3 field goals.
Yeah.
Got to score a touchdown.
No.
But and then it felt like the second half was going to be really boring. And then we got 2 interceptions, and everybody woke up. Oh, we got a pick 6 really early in the second half. Everybody woke up, and then it was cruise control after that.
Yeah. So, it was you're a senior, and it was finally your first game in the stadium. I mean, let's face it, you were not on campus your freshman and sophomore years during the football season. And
right.
Lord knows you couldn't go last year. So, what was the experience like?
Interesting for sure. I mean, there was 105,000 people there, and I mean, I kind of went in drunk-ish.
Of course.
How else do you do it better? I went out. What was the game? 3:30. I went out at like 10 in the morning to go tailgate. Went in the stadium probably around 1:30.
Tailgated with some family, by the way.
Family. Friends and family.
Yeah, friends and family. And by the way, for those of you that may be watching, he is of age to legally drink.
I'm almost 22.
So he could say I was, a little on the drunk side.
It was ginger brandy and Pepsi. And a good amount of it.
So you had 2 girls and a soda. Where'd
Yes.
you get drunk? Ginger, brandy. I hope Ginger and Brandy were good looking. Oops, I'm sorry. Your girlfriend's watching. We're joking. Ginger, the real Ginger and Brandy were at my house. It's called a menage a trois.
And basically screamed the whole game, so didn't have much of a voice after it.
Cool.
And then drank some more after the game.
Of course. Of course. So now, this week, though, you won't be drinking.
Unfortunately, no, I'm not allowed.
Because you got to work. Well, quasi-work.
Quasi-work.
Your band friends. You got to be filming your band friends.
Halftime, and when we score, other than that, and pregame. Pregame is probably the most important thing, that and halftime. Those are the two big ones.
Yeah. So what exactly will you be doing? So for those that don't know.
I personally don't know yet.
Okay, but what are you doing?
Okay, I will be taking video of probably a specific section in the blue band,
Okay.
and making either submitting that to my boss to make a video out of it, or making a video myself about game day. We were sent a video earlier today that we're supposed to study because we're supposed to mock that video for this week's game, and that video is about 20 minutes. So
Got you.
it sounds like we're gonna take all our video and put it into one big whole day kind of thing.
So you're not actually a member of the blue band.
No,
Like you don't play clarinet or triangle or sousaphone or
no, I don't play any instruments.
vuvuzuela.
I can play that. That's easy.
I think
Blow.
I think you can handle the blow. Okay, then. I'm sure it's easy for you. Kind of walked right into that one. I'm sure you can handle the triangle.
I can handle the cowbell, too.
And the cow. Always more cowbell. Always more cowbell. So, no drinking for you before the game. Now, are you going to go to game day? ESPN College Game Day is there.
Yeah.
Plan on going? Plan on going?
I'm going to go.
Okay.
Now, there's 3 options for me. Get multiple friends. We could start lining up at 5:30 in the morning. They start at like 9-ish. 9-ish.
No, they start at 9, not 9-ish. This isn't.
Okay, but
this isn't a Trump rally. They start at 9.
Okay, but there'll be stuff going on before 9.
There will be. Yes.
But they go live at 9.
Yes.
And they're live till noon, till kickoff.
Yes.
We can line up at 5:30. 3 options. Get up at 5 and walk over there. Get a few friends. Bring a table out to Old Main and basically camp out all night. By camp out, stay awake all night. And be there ready to go for game day. Or I go, like 7, 8, and then just kind of find a place with like a friend or 2.
No, you're not going at 7 or 8. You'll be in the back by that time.
You think?
This would be like going to a Trump rally. You will be in the back.
You're asking college kids to get up before 7? Yeah, right.
They're not just college kids that are at game day.
Okay.
The idea, you bastard, is to be there early, have your goddamn Phatts TV or Team Phatts sign so people could see it on ESPN. I don't know if they'll let you spread the flag. That would be great. If you could find a goddamn pole to put that on, super. I don't know if they're going to allow something that says TV on the screen. You could try.
So why do I need Team Phatts? That's the only thing I can probably put on it.
Yes.
So I would like to get 3 or 4 friends and we'll go play cards or something all night or whatever. Just talk.
Either that or talk. There you go. Talk. We're gonna talk about girls.
Yeah.
Either that,
something.
Either that, or you get a bunch of friends and you paint the letters PA Phatts on your chest, and you have to be no shirt on in the morning.
Whew, it's gonna be a cold one.
And you have to know how to spell it correctly so you're standing the right way. That would be god awful that you guys don't know how to spell it right.
What would be funny is if it was backwards.
Yes, that's what I'm thinking. I would see that and I would be like, you fucking cocksuckers, you. I would text you so fast, I'd be like, you fucking cocksucker, you.
See, what I would want to get in is that little bleacher that they set up where they kind of have their sponsor. Have a sign there. That'd be cool. Because then you know you're going to see it.
Yeah. For 1 or 2 segments of the whole show, that's it. But then at least you're sitting. Well, go for it. I just better goddamn see either Phatts TV or Team Phatts on ESPN Saturday morning. I'm paying part of your goddamn tuition. Do one goddamn thing for me.
Asking me to get up at 4:30 in the morning.
So who's winning whiteout? Wait a minute. We got up at 4 in the morning to go see Trump.
This is true. It was dark by the time we got in line.
Yes.
It was still dark when we got in line.
So who's winning whiteout?
Oh, Penn State.
Okay.
It
might be one or both of our plays in the Phatts Phantastic Phive. We're about to find out.
31-17.
Okay.
They'll control the game early. They'll be up I think they'll be up decently after the first half. Then they'll slow down. Auburn will come back a little bit, but they'll never touch close. And we'll walk to an easy whiteout victory.
Okay. I'll have my prognostication a little bit later. Pro, any reactions to week 1?
You got your Texans right.
I did. I did. If you watched our NFL preview, I said the Texans will be 2-1 after week 3 and not win another game. I did say that.
Green Bay looked probably like the worst team in the league.
They did. They scored 3 points.
Against the Saints team that we predicted to go about 500.
Yeah, we did.
San Francisco looked good as we predicted. The Lions made a comeback, but
Did you
Dallas
think?
looked pretty good.
Did you think after week 1, the Philadelphia Eagles would be all alone in first place in their division?
If you would have predicted it, I wouldn't have said it was out of possibility because they were playing Atlanta.
Yeah, but
and
alone in first place.
No, not alone. Enjoy it while it lasts.
So, what struck me interesting is let's look at the divisions.
Oh, and Cleveland sucks balls. How are you up 22-10 and lose?
Well, take a look what Kansas City's quarterback is of all the games that he's been losing in his career at one point in the game, he's only lost 4 of them.
Yeah, one of them is a Super Bowl.
Well, obviously, because they lost.
They got railed.
But let's look at the AFC East. Only the Dolphins won, and somebody was going to have to win in the AFC East because the Dolphins and the Patriots play each other. The Patriots have a loss, Buffalo has a loss, the Jets have a loss. In the AFC North, Pittsburgh has a win, Cincinnati has a win, the other 2 teams have a loss. In the AFC West, all 4 teams won. In the AFC South, Houston, hello, is the only team that won. In the NFC East, only the Eagles won. In the NFC North, all the teams lost. In the NFC South, you have Tampa Bay won and New Orleans won.
And Carolina
won. And in the NFC West, all 4 teams won. So it's like the divisions, there's not many divisions where 2 teams won, 2 teams lost. There's only 1 or 2. I think now, in our previous show, we both said the NFC West is going to be the hardest division to predict.
There's only one division where 2 lost and 2 won, and that's the AFC North. And it's the 2 teams that won you would never predict would have won.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, in the NFC South, there's 3 that won. Yeah. So the hardest... We said that the NFC West would be the hardest division to predict. And all 4 teams came out with a win. Impressively.
Arizona looked really good against Tennessee.
But you know what? I'm going to throw that win out the door for you bettors. Why? Tennessee they were replacing the most starters in the league from last year, and they have a new defensive coordinator. They weren't set up to really win that game.
But they looked terrible on offense.
I wouldn't know. I couldn't watch it. I was at a bowling tournament running a tournament.
I watched Red Zone all day.
I wish I could have. So, let's do what everybody's waiting for. There we go. Now our sound is back. I got to figure out how to get sound here while keeping this on here. Give me uno momento. Like I said, everything changed on me, so... Oops. So let's do this. And let's do that. let's do
Nah.
that. We're playing with some things here. And now let's do that. Look at that. And now we got sound.
There you go.
Just had to play around with a couple things there. All right, so let's take a look at last week's picks, shall we? Crap. What were your picks last week? You went 3-2. I do know that.
What were my picks last? Rutgers.
Yes, Rutgers, which was a win. You
Cleveland.
had Cleveland, Kansas City over, which was a win.
Buffalo.
Buffalo, which was a loss.
I had 2 other college games.
I could look it up.
Iowa State over.
Which was a loss.
And I have like Florida beating South Florida by a number or something.
Oh, let me look it up. Because of course this thing didn't save it right. So, and I didn't notice it. Hold on. I got it right here. Hold that thought. Hold it. Okay. So, you had Rutgers minus 2.5, which was a win. You had Iowa State over 46.5, which was a loss. You had Wisconsin minus 25.5, which was a win. You had Cleveland, Kansas City over 54, which was a win. And you had Buffalo minus 6.5, which was a loss.
They lost outright.
So you went 3-2.
Yep.
I had Rutgers 2.5 as well. I had Buffalo in college getting 13.5. That was a very bad pick. I had the over in that game, 54.5 against Nebraska. That was a bad pick. I had Iowa getting 4.5, and in the pros, I had Houston getting 3.5. So I went 3-2 as well. That makes your record on the season 4-6. My record on the season is 7-3. So let's take a look at the picks. Your picks first. So you have Penn State minus 3.5 in the first half.
Yeah.
First half only. You have Oklahoma given 22.5 to Nebraska.
Yeah.
You have the under 58.5 in Purdue, Notre Dame.
Right.
Alabama minus 7.5 in the first half only. And you do take a pro game. You took Detroit plus 11.
Yes.
So you want to talk about any of them?
So Penn State, that's your favorite word. It's a trend. Penn State usually plays very well in the first half of the whiteout game. Normally.
Mm-hmm.
At least, especially recently. So I expect us to get up maybe like 17-3, 17-7 by halftime. And then we'll go from there. So that's that one. Oklahoma, I mean, they're at home playing Nebraska. And whenever they play a team that isn't very good, for some reason they run up the score. So they're going to win.
This is the 50th anniversary of the game of the century between these two teams.
Interesting.
Back in the days when they were in the same division and both of those teams were really, really good.
Well, one of them has fallen off the earth.
Yeah, because they went to the Big Ten.
Yeah. Then Purdue, Notre Dame. Notre Dame has looked, in nicer words, horrible. And Purdue isn't very good, so I'm expecting a very low-scoring game there.
I don't know if
Alabama.
I don't know if I agree with that pick, but okay.
Alabama. You like Alabama. They're playing with Florida. They're going to get out by 20 at the end of the first half. And Detroit is playing Green Bay. Green Bay looked like shit. And I don't think a week difference is going to make a huge difference. Detroit will lose the game. But don't but I think they might only lose by 7 or 8.
As I said to you earlier before we went live, I think if Detroit does cover that game, it's a backdoor cover. That they're going to be down like 17 late and then score a touchdown like in the last 2 minutes and cover. Because Green Bay likes to do that a lot, give up backdoors. Or they like to win games late, like they'll be in this scenario, they're up 8 and then score with less than 2 minutes to go. They do that a lot. All right, well, as I had said to you earlier, I have one of the same picks. And you said Alabama first half, and I said I preach week after week after week to take Alabama in the first half each and every week. So, of course, that's going to be my pick. It's not my pick. Haha, fooled you.
You like Penn State in the first half.
I do like Penn State in the first half. I do. There's actually 9 games that I liked, and I had to find 5. So the ones that I left off the board was Alabama first half. I didn't want to take 2 games the same as you. I liked Alabama in the first half. I liked Alabama for the game at 14. I liked Purdue getting 8. And the play that I really liked, but the hook scared me, was Buffalo giving 3.5 against Miami. There's a huge trend in that game. That when a team loses as straight up as a 6 or more point favorite in week 1, they cover 81% of the time in week 2. That's a huge trend. That's huge. But I didn't trust the hook. Will I bet the game? Yes, I will bet the game at 3.5. I might buy the 0.5 point down. Depends on how much extra vig it's going to cost me to do it. But it didn't fit into my plays here. So here are my plays. Army Yukon over 47.5. Who the hell would bet that?
I don't know.
Army should be able to score in the 40s on their own against Yukon. They may cover this by themselves, but I'm figuring that they'll score at least 41 against Yukon, which means Yukon only has to give me a touchdown.
So it's going to be an Army-Navy game and be 7-3.
Yes. Yes. Texas A&M laying 30 against New Mexico. Now, Texas A&M barely won last week at Colorado. Yes, they lost their starting quarterback in the first half of that game. But they're playing New Mexico.
Yeah.
Will New Mexico score against Texas A&M is the question.
Yes.
Maybe a touchdown, maybe a field goal. Will Texas A&M or will New Mexico be able to stop Texas A&M? No. No. They were favored against Kent by 29.5 week 1. Kent should beat New Mexico by double digits if they faced each other on a neutral field. And now I'm basically laying the same thing. I have Penn State minus 3.5 first half. So you're giving me, I would have liked 3, obviously. Not 3.5, but we're going into a whiteout with the Auburn quarterback, Bo Nix, who is a spectacular quarterback at home, but as soon as he hits the road, he's got just as many interceptions as he has touchdown passes.
And
this is their first away game. They, remember, no fans last season, and their first away game is whiteout. I don't care how much sound they're trying to simulate at practice this week. They can't simulate enough. You cannot simulate 110,000 screaming fans.
if Michigan called timeout, I think that proves it.
Yes. They're
Michigan called timeout on the first play of the game.
Yes.
And we're going for that again.
Yes.
Because if we win the toss, they are getting the ball at the student section. I can tell you that right now.
Here's my only concern. Is that Penn State gets out to a quick 10-0 lead after the first quarter, and they do what they always do and mail it in the second quarter, and Auburn scores a late touchdown, and it's 10-7 at halftime, or 17-10 at half, or 17-14 at half. I don't think Auburn's going to score 14, so let's say 13-10 at halftime. I would love to only be given 3 here, not 3.5. Auburn, yes, they've crushed their first 2 opponents who were the Little Sisters of the Poor in the Scranton State School for the Deaf. You know. No competition the first 2 weeks. They were at home. Tiny bit of a step up. Tiny bit.
And we have been ready since week 1.
Yes. Then I have 2 pro games. Dallas Chargers over 54.5. For Dallas to win, if they don't score 31 points, they lose. Dallas actually looked good offensively in week 1. I think this goes way over 54. Way over 54. This will be in the 60s. And my last pick, I'm taking Baltimore 3 over 12, apparently, because I don't know how to type. 3.5 over Kansas City. And my only concern with this is there's usually a trend to bet against teams that play overtime the week before, especially when they play overtime on a Monday night. But because they lost, they're going to be extra focused for this game. They do not want to go 0-2 to start the season. That's for sure. I could easily see Baltimore winning this game. I could see them losing by 3. I don't think they're going to lose this game by more than 3. I could also see this game going over the total as well. I believe it's around 55. I could see that going over, too. So those are my plays for the week. To recap, the non-genetically proven son. He's got Penn State, 3.5, minus 3.5 for the first half. Oklahoma, minus 22.5. The under 58.5 in Purdue. Notre Dame. Alabama, minus 7.5 first half. And Detroit, plus 11. I have Army, UConn, over 47.5. Texas A&M, minus 30. Penn State, minus 3.5 for the first half. Dallas, LA Chargers, over 54.5. And Baltimore, plus 3 divided by 12. And those are your Phatts Phantastic Phive for week 3. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So what'd you think of my picks?
I'm going 5-0. You're going 0-5.
I can't, if I go 5-0, if you go 5-0, I got to go at least 1-4.
That was the joke.
Dumbass. Really? So you didn't have a whole workup on Army UConn?
No.
No.
Can't even say I even looked at that game. I always like, especially how some of these higher ranked teams, when they play those pooch teams, sometimes they're only like 20, 30 point favorites and they win by 60.
Yeah.
So I think trying to find one, and Oklahoma's at home. They just won by 72, I think, last week.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be another game where they get up probably 40 at least, and that's where it'll sit.
We'll see. I mean, week 1, they could have lost to Tulsa.
I'm surprised you didn't play Alabama, too.
My original 5, I had Alabama minus 14 in there. But I also had Penn State in the first half. So I didn't want to, again, I mean, it wouldn't have been the same pick if I played 7.5 first half. But I didn't want to play 2 games the same as yours. So I took a pick, which one was, I think, most likely to happen. And I think Bo Nix is going to not fare very well in the first half of whiteout. I think
That's why I
there's
said
a,
it might be 17-3.5.
yes. I think there's a better chance that Florida could lay close to Alabama. Don't forget in the SEC championship game, it was what 50 some to 40 some, just this last December. It was a rather close game. So yeah, we have to decide what bets we can allow and what bets we can't allow. Obviously, like you can't bet first half and the game on the same team. You can't do that. We got to discuss, are we going to allow team totals? Because I do love Alabama's team total this week. It's in the 30s. It's in like the mid 30s, like 34 or something like that. Or 36. I love that. A lot.
See, this week would be a really good week, depending on the score, to bet either Auburn or Penn State in the second half. But I have zero service in there. Zero. That's how many people there is. The phone just doesn't work.
Okay.
It sucks.
Okay.
It sucks. Like right outside the stadium, I was fine. When we sat down, forget it. Don't even try. Just turn off your phone.
Can you get a phone signal?
No, I have a signal, but it doesn't work. I have two or three bars, but it doesn't load anything. I could send a text, not an iMessage, a text.
Okay, so text me if you want to bet something.
I don't know if Messenger. I was sending you messages. I was trying to send you a picture of the stadium. Would not work.
No. No.
Because you were like, "Are you sending a picture?" Slowly.
Yes.
Sent like 5 hours later.
Yes, it did. All right, so that's our show for this evening on this Wednesday night. I am going to go watch AEW. I was having an argument with somebody on Facebook, and I don't think they understand what I'm trying to say about the difference between AEW and WWE. I'm saying AEW is more about wrestling and WWE is more about entertainment, and he's trying to tell me they're the same thing, and trying to say you're missing my point. That yes, they're both sports entertainment, but the wrestling is just one part of WWE's entertainment, where AEW, the wrestling is the entertainment. Like on NXT last night, their main event was a wedding. I don't think AEW is going to have a wedding on their show. Kind of don't see that happening.
Yeah.
WWE does that on their show every few years. I can think of at least 4 or 5 other times they had a wedding. In fact, they just did it last year or a year before with Lana and Rusev. So,
but Rusev, I believe, was fired.
Yeah, he's a champion in AEW.
There you go.
There you go. In fact, Adam Cole, right before we went live, had his first match in AEW. And who was on commentary tonight, and he said he was scouting him, CM Punk. Can you see a CM Punk Adam Cole match?
I can't believe they fired Adam Cole.
They didn't. His contract expired, and he didn't re-sign.
Okay, why didn't you re-sign him?
Because there's a revolt going on in WWE. The wrestlers don't like the entertainment side of it. They want to wrestle. At least some of them. And Cole's got attachments with some of the AEW guys.
Mm.
So, and they probably offered him a good deal of money.
CM Punk, Adam Cole, it's a good match.
That would be a great match. Now, that would be great. It's a shame that CM Punk's wife, we all know who that is, can't really wrestle anymore because Adam Cole and his girlfriend, Dr. Britt Baker, the women's champion, in a mixed tag with CM Punk. And
AJ Lee.
And AJ Lee, yes. Not AJ Menendez, I believe is her real name. Yes. That would be cool. So, but yeah, I could see Punk Cole happening on pay-per-view soon. That'd be cool. That'd be really cool.
For the title one day.
Yeah, hopefully one of them will have a title. All right, we don't want to talk about wrestling because I know that bores a lot of people. We could do a wrestling show one day, though, if we want.
Sure.
All right. Any final words? Go State.
Go State Pen.
Sure. If anybody wants to find me, I'll probably be at the Weiser Fleetwood game Friday.
And if Corso picks Auburn,
Corso's not gonna pick Auburn. Not at Whiteout, he's not.
True. I don't think he's ever not picked Penn State at Whiteout.
Oh hell yeah, he's picked Ohio State a few times. He likes picking Ohio State.
Yeah, because it's his baby.
I like that on what's his name's show today. Colin Cowherd. Oh, Penn State's gonna lose to Auburn. They're only like 6-6 in whiteout games. Yeah, how many of those 6 losses came to Ohio State? It's usually their hardest game of the year. Is usually their whiteout game, and so every other year it's Ohio State, and Ohio State seems to beat them.
Auburn fans have been saying, "Oh, we're gonna beat you guys. Are only 500." Well, when you play Michigan or Ohio State or Alabama in the whiteout game, oh shit, we're gonna lose a lot.
Actually, don't be surprised if their hardest game is the Michigan game. Don't be surprised. You heard it here first. Don't be surprised. Either that or Rutgers!
Our hardest game is Iowa, period.
No, I meant
End
at
of
home.
story.
I meant at home. Home game.
Oh, at home?
Home game.
Yeah, it's probably Michigan. That's our hardest. I kind of knew that.
I mean, but they only did whiteout because they thought Auburn would be the hard game. But don't be surprised.
It's a student section whiteout for Michigan, which will probably turn into a whiteout.
Probably. All right. We'll see you sometime next week. Don't forget, tell your friends, tell your lovers. And a tip from PA Phatts. If you want to prevent pregnancies, wear an entire box of condoms. While you're wearing your 4 face masks.
Yeah.
And an N95. And a KN95.
Cool.
Yeah. Be well protected. Say goodbye to the fine folks.